Communication has brought us all this far. We have acquired new forms and ways to interconnect with others even around the world. This advancement is what experts coin as media that are widely used by people in all walks of life, like the highly evolved flat-screen television, computers, cellular phones, tablets, and other newly invented gadgets added by iPhones and Androids, or in other style are remote controlled computer generated machineries. However, we gained two weighted outputs for this change to both advantages and disadvantages dealt by mass media. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. Every communication involves at least one sender, a message, and recipients. To have this communication, we need to use technology, like for example, cell phone, tablet, laptop, computer. Uses of the computer. The use of computers have several advantages below according to Dizon, Fozencio, Gines, Abias, and Vindival Jr. 1998 p. 284 to quote. We have four uses of the computer. We have number one. It can help teachers manage instruction by assisting in recording, keeping, lesson planning, and grade tracking. Number two. The use of computer allows some activities that are not possible otherwise. There are some software that allows students to perform computations in shorter period of time. Number three. CD-rooms and laser video desks offer students the advantages of reading, hearing about the process, and actually seeing the dynamics of various processes. Number four, the increasingly sophisticated.
Generation Z or Gen Z. When interviewing adolescents, technology-related development is Generation Z, a new generation identity of the youth whose group was born from 1995 up to the present, that similarly belongs to the borderless world. There are seven characteristics of Generation Z, spanning psychological, behavioral, sociological, and demographic categories, such as 1. Device dependence, 2. Expectation of the information on demand, 3. An emotional connection with the digital world, 4. More trust in digital sources of information, 5. Reduced impact of physical environment, number 6. Social circles not restricted by geography, and the last one, many Generation Z consumers in developing countries. Social media, a form of electronic communication as websites for social networking and microblogging, where the users design some online communities in order to share personal information, insights that further create more connection all over the world. What are selfie and goofy? Selfie is a personalized, newly found style at looking for an angle or pose where one is comfortable in taking pictures. Referring to the insight of Erickson 2013, self-image is important and not always in a narcissistic way. It is how we define ourselves and present for others to see. We rely on others' perception, judgment, and appraisal to develop our social self. The next one is groupie. What is groupie? Another new photo classification is called groupie, although the word is still subject to investigation according to Collins' dictionary, which described the term goofy as a group selfie photo taken with a smartphone that contains three or more people. The next one is the internet use. Internet and other online activities are useful to human species. However, the scope and limitation of its use must be regulated. According to Diller 2002, The internet is supposedly the great democratizer of information, but the online world continues to perpetuate old and new urban legend. He added, if you like using the internet, by all means keep exploring, but you need to weigh the information you find based on the reliability of the source, not on whether it appears to make sense. Inaccurate information is often compelling. The internet mostly release fake news or anything that is fake or not true. So according to dealer, if you find information on the internet, be sure that the source you research is reliable and not fake. Computer use is healthy up to a point. It becomes negative when the following effects are observed in the user, according to Young 1998 as cited by Villar 2007. So there are some negative effects when you use too much computers. First is experience limited to just one dimension of life, the computer and what it can offer. Second, distorted image of people and life in the absence of the usual give and take relationship, actual performance of tasks, and handling real challenges and difficulties. Next is failure to develop the mastery needed in society, work, school, or relationship. Next is social isolation and loss of the capacity for real intimacy since the addiction becomes a substitute for active life. Next is depression. There's a lot of people now who are depressed. Number 6, tendency to escape rather than find solutions to problems. People more often escape their problems rather than find solutions to solve them. So let's continue. What is cyber addiction? According to Villar 2007, an addiction that became prevalent in the late 90s and continues to grow is cyber addiction. Initially, this way was not considered a hazard because many parents and spouses felt that being online, especially at home, was safer for their children than engaging in outdoor activities or being with people not necessarily known to the family. Many did not even consider it an addiction until certain major aspects of life were affected. In fact, cyber addiction and the addiction to virtual realms of experience created through computer engineering, the internet, online games, and virtual reality games. The addiction takes different forms of according to Young 1998 as cited by Villar 2007. According to Villar 2007, the following is the addiction to online relationships. Cybersexual addictions. Addictions to adult or rooms cyber porn where most of the discussion pertain to sex. Cyber relationship addiction, online friendship including cyber affairs from through chat rooms, blogs that replace real-life friends and family. Thus then, Villar 2007 added some addiction to online facets, net compulsions, online gambling, online auction, online trading. So most of them will lead into scams. There's a lot of scammers, especially in online gambling. Information overload, compulsive web surfing or database searches. So information overload means there's a lot of information that is not reliable or not related to the topic. Computer addiction, computer game playing or programming aspects of computer sciences. So computer addiction, addict in computers, especially teenagers are addicted using computers. As cited by Villar 2007, the counselor can verify whether a person is really addicted by checking on whether four or more of these symptoms advanced by Young 1998 are present. So these are the symptoms that can verify if a person is really addicted to the internet or the computer uses. Number 1 is preoccupation with previous or next internet use. Next, restlessness, moodiness, depression, irritability when attempting to cut down or stop internet use. So restlessness become moodiness, or if someone will try to stop using internet, they become more moody or irritability. Staying online longer than originally. Staying online, always on the internet. Jeopardizing, risking loss of significant relationship, job, educational, or career opportunities for the internet. So most of people, if they have work, they always says they will work it later because they have something important to in their phones, or they are playing that or they are playing rather than doing their works or careers, anything than that. Using the internet to escape from problems or for relieving a dysphoric mood, negative feelings, helplessness, guilt, anxiety, depression, powerlessness, or hopelessness. So some of them are using internet to escape their problems or anything, but this is also a sign of symptoms. Number six, lying to family members, therapists, or conceal the extent of involvement with internet. So you'll lie, feeling a need to spend more and more time online to achieve satisfaction. The last one is feeling unable to control online use.
When is the wise use of digital technology? For example, 20 years old Nicole says, I hate to see it, but my cell phone and I are best buddies. I make sure it is close by at all times. I go crazy if I am in an area with no cell coverage. And after half an hour, I cannot wait to be able to check my messages again. It is a little ridiculous. Addiction is the symptoms of using smartphone, or else we call it as a result of addicting to internet. Addiction to the addicted, codependent. This is the term where the family members who support the addict by providing of what the addict need, otherwise known as mutually supporting. Villar 2007 state that the co-addict feel a sense of resentment and development a passive-aggressive response with increasing anger for herself or himself. Akio Mori found out the video game has in control over young individual who engage with it habitually were shortage of beta brainwave movement was verified in his study. Frontal lobe of the brain was used by a video gamer. It serves a regulator of discussion making, organization, and willpower or self-discipline. Sedentary is about sitting most of the time, staying in one place and inactive. In short, this person spending a lot of time to computer or cell phone. Cognitive development. Liwag 2007 cited that exposure to imaginary in electronic technology might have contributed to the selective increases in non-verbal intelligence scores during the past century. Chuli, 2007, stressed that increased the turning out by the media blunted brains of children in one factor in the growing epidemic of attention problems. Socio-emotional development. Virtual relationship with a stranger and acquaintances, those forming weak ties that provide less social support than real relationship with family and friends. Family relationship. OMD Philippines said that 89% of the respondents agree that technology enabled them to retain in contact with other families. Electromagnetic field or EMF. Scientists who study this serious discovery added that EMF suspension can cause illnesses, diseases, and other form of physiology. Catastrophe to human being is if not moderately used, where their findings revealed that EMF destroyed the activities of our melatonin,